Hi, this is Zoe.
And this is Chloe.
And welcome back to the 5th episode of
Swear We Aren't Lying.
So, we first want to say, so sorry.
Yes, we apologize for our absence.
And if you didn't know you were gone, you're fake.
No, for real. What is that?
Absolutely awful. But now, I was in Mexico on a mission trip with family. My room was a disaster. So, I was like, you're not coming over, and I'm packing.
Which is fair, because I was also packing, because I
That's
just moved back down to go to school and whatnot. So, yeah, it's been a busy week.
Yeah, I hope you guys had a great holiday and New
Year. Happy New Year.
Hope you rung in the New Year doing good things.
Woo-woo.
I was in my bed after having a very long night.
Yes.
Which we will talk about. We keep saying we'll talk about this in another episode, but we really will.
Yes.
Like, this is going to be an episode in itself of what we do on Fridays and Saturdays.
Right, exactly. But, here we are, and you're finally getting the 5th episode you deserve.
Yeah, and today's episode is kind of about the internet and all of her facets and crevices and nuances and the place that it might end you up at. That's the best grammar I can do right now. Yeah, it's going to be interesting if you've experienced this. Answer the little question thing on the Spotify thing and let us know your weirdest experiences with the internet.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it shaped all of us in some major way. So, yeah, Gen Zers,
or
you millennials. I know that y'all are out there.
Or as cuspers, the zillennials.
Yes,
the in-betweeners.
There we go. Yeah, I love you too.
Just type. All right, well, let's get into it. So, buckle up, sit down. If you're an adults. I'm sorry.
So, I think we all can agree here that we've mostly grown up on the internet. We weren't quite iPad kids.
No.
But we definitely had an iPad at some point.
Yes, we did.
And the way that we would sneak onto certain things that our parents found questionable,
or still don't know about,
Oh man,
nice.
we'll get into that for sure.
Hi, Mom.
But yeah, it's kind of funny how we have that shared experience as like a whole generation, but the different experience I've had on the internet compared to Zoe is really interesting, because I grew up being in like fandoms. I grew up with like online friends and whatnot, whereas Zoe uses Snap for her sugar daddies.
I don't want the sugar daddies. I mean, I love their money.
They just somehow find it.
No, it's true. They literally appear.
Yeah.
I don't even have to I don't know where they're getting my app from. They just appear. And they're like, would you like $17,000? No need for anything inappropriate or gross. Just talk to me. And I'm like,
I'm lonely. I need a friend.
And I'm like, if you're asking me to use Cash App, that's sketchy. Or Bitcoin, get away from me. If you're asking me to use PayPal, I'll think about it. I'm broke. But it's just weird. Yeah, you were doing things that most kids were doing, like fandom things, and I was more not on the internet till I was really like 13. No, that's not true. I got Instagram at 11, and so that was my intro to the internet. And I had YouTube that I would watch all kinds of YouTube on, and so I kind of got into fandoms because of that. But I didn't actively act as a person in the fandoms. I just I like this group, and that was me being.
You were the floater.
I was like, I'm here.
No, honestly, I can relate to that though, because I had this whole DeviantArt phase growing up, right? And I wanted a DeviantArt account so bad, so bad when I was 13 to 14. And thank God my mom said no every time I went to go make one, until eventually I finally, did make that secret account at 15 or something. And then I just never used it because I chickened out. Yeah, my mom definitely scared me, because she's like, you'll find predators on there, and then all of a sudden you're going to be taken from me. And yeah, my mom knew how to scare the living out of me.
Yeah, I also had a fan account. fan account. I had an account for a I'm so embarrassed to say this. I had a Dolan Twins. I had a Dolan Twins fan account called the Dole Whip Twins with my best friend Alexa. For like, I don't even know. For like, I think it was maybe a month and a half, and then we were both kind of like, "This is dumb. We don't. This is stupid."
Dang,
like,
it didn't even last a whole 2 months.
no, we weren't even serious about it.
Shoot.
It was kind of fun, kind of goofy, kind of silly, and then we realized we have people that we like more than them. And if we were gonna have fan accounts for anybody, it would be probably for like those people. But like,
solid.
And then I deleted the account, and I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. See, around the same time that I wanted DeviantArt so bad, so bad, which is such a trash fire like art site for like community. Now that I'm looking back on it, but around that same time, I was really into Attack on Titan, and my goodness, because like it was like newly released and whatever, and like no one knew when like the second season was coming out, but we wanted more so bad. So it was like around that fad, right? I was deep in it. Oh man, and the way I was so deep was like to an embarrassing level. But I would write fanfic, and I would write that
fanfic.
Oh man, I would write that fanfic for days. Yeah.
I could never write fanfiction. I could read fanfiction, and I would read it all the time. I'd be in school, in-person school, in middle school, middle and high school, and be in class. I'm just scrolling.
See, you were the reader. I was the writer.
Yeah, I would. I was like, you know what? I don't need someone to find that I wrote this. So, or I don't have enough emotional attachment or desire to write.
Right. No, see, this is why I thank my mom for being such a good mom on top of that. Which is so funny because my parents actually were never really strict with me growing up on the internet. I got to look up like basically whatever without anyone checking like my search history, which they probably should have because it was quite alarming.
It was quite alarming.
Yeah, it went from like me looking up like Warrior Cat AMVs to suddenly like, I wonder what girls can do together. It went from that real quick, 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, my parents checked my history I think every single night in middle school, and
I wish they did.
I hated it because I was like, even if I'm not even doing anything bad, I feel like they're going to think something's wrong. And when I started becoming a more curious child in later 8th grade years, freshman year, high school, which we had a huge conversation, and I like had a mental breakdown on the couch. It was really fun because I was like, I'm a child and I'm just curious. Y'all don't understand. I don't want to ask you these questions. Like, I don't want to have that conversation with you.
Right.
I'd rather find out myself, and which was, not smart because my parents could tell me things that are actually real, not fake. And they checked my history, and then I learned where the incognito tab was.
That's where the incognito tab
and I wouldn't
came
even look
in
up bad things. It was like, and it wasn't like I was like looking at girls like doing things together. It was like, what does this word mean that my friend said today in 7th grade English class?
Right.
And I would go there and
what
be like,
is 69?
And I was like, oh shoot,
damn,
that sounds uncomfortable. Like I would look up things like that because I was like, I wasn't sheltered, but I felt like I didn't know a lot of stuff because I didn't have any older siblings to be like, bitches. And I was like, bitches. What is bitches?
The stutter in it, like
bitches. Like there were so many things I didn't understand that I had to educate myself on the Urban Dictionary. So I would Urban Dictionary in the incognito tab, and that was where I lived, and that's where I did other things such as Omegle.
Ooh, dude. I actually had never ever explored Omegle until I met Zoe. Because I would watch like the stupid like YouTube compilations where it's like, prank on Omegle or whatever. But that was the only exposure I ever had to Omegle. And I'm so glad because man, if I was a child on that site,
it's really fun when you're a kid on Omegle.
Dude,
Don't do it.
The times that I've like ventured on Omegle without Zoe have been so traumatic.
It's traumatic.
It's so bad. It's like you're just wandering out into the freaking void. You're just in the darkness and there's no way out.
And then for those that don't Omegle or don't know what Omegle is, Chloe's description is pretty accurate. It is the void. It is.
I'm not even over exaggerating.
No, because what happens is you can pick like a topic you want to talk about, and sometimes those are, actually you're like LGBTQ, and you're talking to like all these people about like being gay, and you're having a great time, and then you get this man who's like, hey, and just slur chucks you. Chucks a bunch of slurs at you, and you're like, okay.
What a way to spend the Saturday with the boys, am I right?
Happy Tuesday. All right. And it's really entertaining being black on Omegle because you get slur chucks.
Gosh, yeah.
But the thing is, it's the same one. Mm-hmm. And if you're smart, you'll figure it out. I don't have to say it. Yeah. And it's funny at this point because, like, I'm not desensitized to it. It's like, if you're going to be rude, do more. Like, really? You're not original. Mm-hmm. I'm not. My feelings aren't hurt. I'm embarrassed for you.
No, literally.
If you're gonna be mean, like,
no, because they'll come up like with the most generic crap, and it's like, oh,
you can't swim. Actually, I'm a great swimmer, bitch.
Right?
Like, what? What? You like chicken? No, I don't. Actually, the texture makes me uncomfortable. Like, it's just so strange.
Yeah.
Ugh, but it's weird, and I've had experiences that you shouldn't have at 13. Because I was on there at 13 where I didn't know there was video, though, for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Because I was on my phone. And so I was doing, like, the chat room. And that is whack.
Chat rooms of any kind.
Whack. It is whack. They're like, male or female. How old are you? And
it's, like, always that question, too, that is first.
And I'm like, I'm a girl. I'm 14. And he's like, I'm 26. And I'm like, something about this conversation feels wrong. But I'm not sure if I should leave as long as you're not a creeper. Okay, you're a creeper. Leaving now.
Yeah.
And I had a guy ask me to be his teacher, and I needed to, like, drop my pencil. Like, it was like, he wanted to have this teacher fantasy with me. I was 16.
Oh, my.
And he was in his 20s. And I realized this is kind of uncomfortable. And I had this, like, moral, like, reality as a very young person where I was like, this is wrong. Mm-hmm. You're making me uncomfortable. And I don't think I'm old enough to, like, know what I should be doing. Whereas...
Speak on it.
And so I was like, I'm too young for this. I'm leaving. So I would leave.
Right.
And I would leave. I had no problem leaving because I didn't know how to, 1, stand up for myself. 2, tell someone they made me uncomfortable. 3, I was so, like, I'd get so flustered, not like the hee I'm flustered, but like, oh my god, like nauseous, scared, flustered. I would get that and then not know what to do, and I'd like panic under pressure and then like crumble and be like, okay, whatever you said, I'll do it, sure.
Jeez, that's scary.
Yeah, I have never like popped a boobie on there before because I have my own things where I'm like, that feels wrong to me.
Right.
And my own personal choices. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. And as many a time as I've been asked to do that, people
it's always been a no.
It's always like, no. They're like, can I see them? And I'm like, I'm sorry. No. Mm-hmm. They're like, I know you have them. I'm like, do you though? What if I don't? What if I actually have none? And it's really weird because as I've gotten older and I've been on here for so long, I'm a veteran now. Give me my damn trophy. I want my stripes. I've earned them.
No, literally, because you still go on Omegle just because, like, you're bored. And then you'll snap me about it, or you'll snap me about, like, yeah, this happened again with a sugar daddy. And I'm just sitting there like, I could never do that. It's just, it's not for me. I don't see the excitement. Yeah, I don't see the appeal in it at all. But I did online date. I mean, that was something that I did do by accident, by the way. That was not intentional. When I signed up for that dating app, I literally was just going on there to troll. And I will admit that.
You're like, I was a troll, and then I was like,
and then all of a sudden, I ended up in a 6-month relationship. But yeah, I already talked about that, so.
Trolling is the way to get into it, I guess.
Honestly. One night in the summer of 2020.
I decided to troll. And then I kissed the boy.
Honestly, it turned into a whole ride.
Whole relationship. But like, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Because I think it's so interesting. Like, I will jokingly online date and talk to people, but then I have no interest in like actually like leaving my home to go meet you.
Yeah.
But if I'm on here, same thing. They're like, I'll fly out. I'll come see you. I'm like, you will. You will. Now wow.
Yeah.
I love that you think you're coming to see me. I won't go anywhere. I will be put in my bed. Like, you can come to my house and I will not leave my room. You could be like,
please don't let them come to their house.
They're like, I'm already here. No, you're not. Wrong house.
No, ex-nay.
Like, sorry, friend. And the thing is like, the things I've experienced, like, for example, allow me to teach you an experience. Not teach you. Let me read you a story. Once upon a time, in the summer of 2021, I ventured onto Omegle. Because the thing is my intention on Omegle is I just want to talk to people.
Right.
And I can admit that there are some quality conversations that I've had with people on Omegle where, like, you're just, like, talking about whether it's, like, religion or just, like, problems or, like, trauma bonding.
Just totally chilling for, like, 5 minutes until it's like, all right, I'm gonna move on then.
Yeah.
You know, like, have a great rest of your night. Those are good.
Even those, like, short little sweet 5-minute conversations.
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh, I love your room. Like, what got you into doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Those are great. The 2-hour conversations about life. Yeah. Love those too.
Those are like what make Omegle
worth it, in my opinion.
Right. But it's like those are so rare that I just rather not go on Omegle ever again without Zoe.
I will protect her with my life on that.
Yes, because every time I go on there by myself, it seems to be something like really traumatic.
Wieners.
Oh my gosh, a little 12-year-old boy. I was
awful.
Like, what are you doing? I clicked so fast. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm getting hunted down.
No.
Yeah.
Speaking of 12-year-old, I had a 13-year-old boy hit on me in the year of 2018, 2022, 21. I don't know. Recently. He was like, nobody needs to know. Like, we'll keep it on the low.
I love how you recorded that and sent it to me too.
I did. I was
so I would like have backup evidence.
I was like, if they come for me, I need you to hear me go, no. I went,
no. Honestly.
Yeah, no.
It's kind of smart that you do record like a lot of your Omegle interactions in case they do get out of pocket.
Because if things get out of pocket and someone's recording me to see if I'm going to be like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Like consenting to it, yeah.
Yeah. I want to make sure
Surprise,
that
I'm 16.
And like, oh, well, you said you were 22, so respectfully, you suck.
Yeah, I know. And
you have to be very careful because people, I'm 22. And you're like, why do you have a graduating picture that says 2021?
Right.
You are a child.
In the back of...
It's like, you are lying to me.
Yeah.
Anyways, liar. And people, I think I mentioned this already, I don't know. Men are out of pocket.
They really are.
They don't care.
They just, oh man, they get even more ballsy than they do in real life.
Yes.
And it's like terrifying.
Literally ballsy. Like balls.
It's like, first off, I'm not even like fully straight enough for this.
No. Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, no. So, like, okay, the second time I decided to venture out on Omegle all alone.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I need some friends because like I just like moved back down or whatever for school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I don't really know anyone and whatever, and I can't really see Zoe on a regular basis anymore, so I'm bored and I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Instant regret because this guy got naked in front of me while waiting for pizza, and I was like, what are you doing? And first he asked, can I get nude? And I was like, sure, dude, because like it wasn't gonna affect me any. I wasn't gonna get like hot or bothered at all.
Hot and like, very unbothered.
Sure, just don't show me anything. Like, all of a sudden, he starts jerking off, and I'm like, I think he could tell that I was like immediately scarred because then he left, and I think he regretted it too. And I was like,
good.
This was awful.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah,
there's moments where I'm like, I'm too gay for this. I don't like men enough for that.
No,
what you just did, I'm once again reconsidering. Am I lesbian? Because every time a guy's like, you, I'm like, no, that's, no, I don't want to look at it. No, ew, vomit, nasty. It's just rough.
No, and it's like, why do men? And
why do men?
So when I ask that question, I just immediately think of Omegle. Why do men?
But then you also get the men who are not, they want to be out of pocket, but they don't have any ounce of courage to be they're still in the pocket, like in your pocket. It's
Right.
like, dude, say it.
You're obviously new to these waters.
Yeah, you don't have the boldness, and I get it. I was once here too.
Mhm.
I now have learned how to be. I'm so mean on Omegle if I feel like I'm being like disrespected,
You really are.
or
but-
if I feel like you're being gross.
Right.
I have no problem being like, really?
No, for real. You need to be.
You have to be, because the thing is when people like flash you, what they want is the reaction of ew, ah.
Right.
So I've learned, don't do that.
Don't feed into it.
You feed into that. Oh, okay. Anyways, like you just completely ignore it. You throw it. I don't know, a harmless insult, or like a okay, didn't know that's what I had to see today. Like you just don't give into the like scream, because that's what they want,
right?
And then you leave. If someone's rude to you and they're like racist, homophobic, whatever, you say what you gotta say. And then there are mans on this app that don't know how to just ask a question.
No.
Like, I might not even give you the answer you want, but at least be bold enough to ask.
Right. Practice rejection therapy.
Seriously, this one dude, more recently, I think it was last year. I don't know. It was recent. He was like, I don't know, I'm too scared. I'm not bold enough to say it. I was like, me being bold for you right now. Ask me the question. And he's like, I don't know. Like, well, I mean, we'll teach. I don't know. And he would not ask. Like, you're going to reject me. I was like, maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But do you know that yet? Ooh. And refused to ask me. And I was like, you're implying so hard. Just ask it already. You're bebopping, scooting around the whole question. Just ask the question. Dude. And it was getting irritating because I was like, you want me to answer this the way you want me to answer it so bad, but you're never going to find out the answer. And you're like, I don't know, I'm scared. I'm like, you think that's cute? You think you're being cutesy? I'm like, I don't even think people think it's cutesy when I'm like, I don't know, I'm scared.
Yeah, no.
Just ask the question. Be a big kid about it.
No, literally.
Yeah. And he asked the question. And I said, no.
It was like a good full 10 minutes of that.
A good 10
of him
minutes.
Like skirting around it. And then
I was like, just for me to say no. He's like, can I? I'm like, no.
No, honestly, it serves him right.
It did. And I was like, you know what? You're welcome. You got your rejection of the night, and I got mine earlier. So I was like, you're really pretty. And the girl's like, okay. And I'm like, cool.
Yep.
It's not what I was
going
for. But, humbled rejection therapy day one. But it's true. Like, it's a weird place, the internet, period.
No, it really is. But, I don't know. I mean, obviously, with me growing up with the internet, it's what's inspired me to, like, pursue online work and, like, freelancing, obviously. And, like, starting my own platform, which is growing slowly. But, like, I want it to grow surely. Because obviously I want a bigger voice and a bigger opportunity on the internet. Because, like, there's just so much that you can do.
Yeah. And
I've met so many great people through it, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm more grateful for the internet than I am, like, resentful of it.
Yeah.
Because of just, like, all the amazing people I've come across. Like, all these amazing artists I would have never even known existed or gotten the chance to work with if I didn't have it. So, no, honestly, I'm really grateful for all the opportunities it has given me so far. And, I mean, I hope that as I grow more as an artist, those opportunities will just keep coming.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's got me to the point where I'm now selling stickers. So
plug those stickers.
I'm always plugging, dude.
Plug. Yeah, but no, I think I agree. I think I've been very blessed to not have bad experiences on the internet, and I totally could. Like, I could have some awful experiences on the internet with people just being super awful to me. I think the worst experiences I've had have just been on Omegle. People are like, slur! I'm like,
because people just lose common sense when they're on that site.
It's like 15-year-old little white middle school boys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Timmy.
I'm honestly quite shocked with what people do on Omegle.
Yeah.
When they know that they might stumble across someone, like, recording.
Yeah.
But obviously that's going to be edited out. And I think that it also, like, feeds into them, like, wanting to do something bizarre because they're like, this is going to get recorded.
This is going to go on YouTube and I'm going to go viral as that one kid. Like, yeah, and then no one's going to like you because you're going to go viral for being a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
And that's not...
Guess what, buddy? That meme's going to ruin your life in the next 10 years.
You're going to go to college and they go, oh, Timmy? the kid that was racist, yeah, sorry, you can't get into Harvard now.
Jeez, yeah.
Like, it's things like that. Like, the internet is a permanent place, regardless of if you think it's not.
Oh my gosh.
Too.
See, that's where your impact is, like, kind of dangerous. Like, it's kind of, like, scary to think of, like, what you could be capable of.
Exactly.
And, like, what you voice out there will just permanently stay.
Mm-hmm.
And just be held against you.
No, yeah.
Like, even if you have grown as a person, even if you've, like, gotten over that and you realize, like, your wrongdoings, it's always going to be something that's, like, on your record.
Yeah, and if you get, like, popular, famous enough, people will dig that up to bring you back down.
No, exactly.
Even if, like, you've done a lot of introspective work and you've been like, I was really ignorant, I was, you know, raised in this space where that was okay, and by people that told me it was okay, and now that I'm older and done my own work on myself and research, like, I know now that's wrong.
Yeah.
I was 13, and I didn't realize that was wrong at that time. The internet wasn't as popping at that time. Like, whatever it was, I didn't have the resources in my space to realize that I was being wrong. And now that I'm older and I've made that choice to, like, do better, who cares? Those people aren't going to care.
No, exactly.
They're going to look and be like, oh, you said the M word on Twitter. It's like, well, yeah, he was 12. And he was raised by people that aren't going to tell him that's wrong.
No, exactly. And it's like, people just don't take the time to actually, like, look into someone's upbringing or background. Not that that's an excuse in any sort of way, but it's like, it definitely is a major factor that plays into how they are now.
Exactly.
You know?
It's very introspective.
There's just, like, no grace on the internet, but that's a thing as well, is like, you could be that graceful person. You could introduce that. Like, you could try to cultivate that and nurture that in your own platform. And that's the charm about the internet. Like, I think that, like, what Zoe and I are trying to do is, like, pretty positive.
Yeah.
But also, it's kind of funny, like, this is, like, the topic that we decided to talk about today, because I was literally thinking yesterday, like, how are we impacting people through our own podcast? You know? We need to be more careful with, like, what we say and stuff. And, like, I don't know, how could this come back to bite us eventually? So, yeah, it's just, like, you always have to be careful no matter what you do on the internet. Because, like, also tomorrow, whatever you're saying right now that's chill could be, like, really offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody could be like, hey, actually, when you said that, you hurt a whole group of people. I was like, I didn't even know that was offensive. That's not in my realm of a world. I didn't know that. And it's not as popularly offensive, where, like, if you were to say one thing, it's like, okay, that's very clearly offensive, no duh. But then there's other things where it's like, hey, that's been offensive for a very long time, but no one says anything about it because no one, like, says anything about it.
Right.
And it's just, I appreciate when people are like, hey, that's not cool, that hurts this people and this people, that people, because it educates you. And that's what I appreciate with the internet.
Right.
Is it educates you on those things. And I don't, me and cancel culture have a weird relationship. Right. Because I really appreciate people being like, hey, that guy has done some seriously
can't be tolerated,
unacceptable, awful things to women, children, men, whatever, animals, like, things, like, anything. She's awful because and, like, that's actually a crime. It's like, cool, now I know I'm not going to support this person anymore because they're not the person that they said they were. Right. And that's really bad.
Like Shane Dawson, for example.
Shane Dawson, yeah.
As much as I, like, loved his content and everything, I can't go back to it because it's not the same anymore.
One, it's not the same anymore, and now you know so much.
Right.
You're like, oh my gosh, ew, that's awful. It's like, dude, really? Like, even with Jeffree Star, he was super controversial all the time.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But I loved his makeup. I thought he was he is so talented. Like, I was just, like, always in awe of his work. And then I was like, wow, you're not a great person.
No, exactly. It's kind of like you have to, like, take a inner look for yourself and just, like, I don't know, evaluate.
Yes,
yeah, there we go. That's a word.
Oh, man.
Beautiful word. But yeah, you just have to kind of, like, sit there and, like, think to yourself, do I want to support that, knowing, like, these are their morals, you know?
Exactly.
And that's, like, the unique thing about, like, me personally, I'm, like, trying to strive after, like, having a platform that's connected to ministry.
Right.
So it's like, how am I going to approach this more Jesus-like? And so it's kind of like a hard thing to wrestle with, because In a sense, I've kind of been in favor of like cancel culture.
Mm-hmm.
But the Jesus in me is like, you forgive no matter what. Like,
Right.
you gotta keep giving people different chances. But also at the same time, it's like you can't be a pushover, and there has to be boundaries.
Right.
And you have to like consider what you're taking in for yourself, content wise.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's really why is like I know like I've been raised to forgive people.
Yeah.
And like, you know, but it's also like you didn't do that to me, so I don't think I need to forgive you. But I think I need to be aware that one, I don't think I'm going to support you anymore. Two, I hope you make better changes and choices in your life. It goes with people too. It's like I'm not going to like talk to you anymore. I hope that you don't like die. But I hope
definitely
that you do better with what you know is wrong.
Well, you also have to like step back and think like with our own platforms, would we want people to forgive us if we did happen to slip up and say something or do something that was controversial? Yeah. And so you kind of have to sit there and you got to think like, what is the type of grace you would want to be shown in that moment? Because you know that you were wrong. Yeah. So yeah, it's super interesting. The internet is definitely like a superpower that we now have. So
and it's up for interpretation, you know. If it's just up to how you use it, to make the most of it, or it's up to the user. Yeah. So no,
but there's definitely more opportunity there for good things than there are bad things, in our opinion. Yeah. So no, this has been a very fun topic. Yes, I could honestly talk about this for ages.
I could too. Yeah. I love the internet a lot. She's got a special place in my heart.
I mean, obviously we do.
We're recording this on a computer. We love the internet, okay?
Right.
Well,
yeah. On to recording the next episode, I guess.
So stay tuned for people that are not people, but they're on TV and we love them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Toodles.